It's on recording and everybody's in right now.
Yeah.
So I'll look in a minute.
Yeah, I don't see him.
It's on recording and everybody's in right now. Okay, Ken.
Very good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. This is the Town Council meeting that was continued from Wednesday, October 21st. The Town Council's meeting via telecommunications pursuant to the State of Rhode Island Executive Order 2046, which was dated June 12th, 2020. There is Zoom access. We ask that anyone watching the meeting who is not a participant to please not use the video because we have a narrow broadband bandwidth, but please you can listen in on a video link and use your phone. If you are on the phones this evening and you are called upon to speak, please mute and unmute using *6 and *6 to mute and *6 to unmute. And also, if you want to raise your hand, use *9 to raise your hand. Discussion will be through the chair, and we'll continue on from there. First item on the agenda is a warden's report. Let's see, I will point out that there is a lot of activity going on at the beach. Remind everybody to please just use the southern end of the parking lots if you're parking at the town beach. The rest is being used for the repositioning of the cable. There's a lot of activity going on in the harbor. Please be wary of it and try to stay out of their way. Also notice this week that people are not noticing that there are stop signs on the corners at certain corners. I'd like to remind everybody to please use the stop signs and stop completely at the stop signs and not roll through. You never know who you're going to hit if you do that, because people might not be paying attention this time of year. Please, everyone, just mind your manners out there on the road. We had a very successful candidates night. I'm sorry. We had a very successful candidates night last night. I thank everyone for participating. I'd like to thank the Block Island Times and also the BIRA for hosting it. We did switch over following the governor's guidelines to a virtual one, but I think it worked out pretty well for everybody. They as always seem to be too short. We probably could have used a couple more hours of question answering, but I hope everyone got something out of it. And I hope that everyone turns out on Tuesday to vote if you haven't already done so. Please exercise your power of your vote at the polling booth. Andre, you're with us tonight via on the road, I understand. Please, do you have anything to give us for Warren's report?
Just a couple quick things, Ken. Thank you. Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Yeah, just a couple quick things. Last Wednesday, Ken and I attended a very nice memorial service for resident John Jakes. If anybody knows John, if you don't know John, he was one of the kindest, most helpful residents, I've ever met. And he certainly wasn't one of the most popular people on Block Island, but he was always willing to help. So I think the lesson what we get from John is that he was a very kind man, and we're sorry to lose him. And, our thoughts go out to his son, John, and his wife, Casey. Sad to see him go. Another thing too is, I'm just going to remind everybody about COVID. The numbers in Rhode Island are looking pretty bad. They're looking at like they're in April's range of numbers, and we have scheduled Monday to discuss this issue. But between now and then, I'd just like to remind everybody that there's a new term out there called silent. Silent spreading, and that is just I think people just letting their guards down and hanging out with non-regular people they normally see, and they're getting together without masks, and I think that's really what the issue is. And I just want to remind everybody on the island to be vigilant about that. We do have a mask law. especially inside buildings, bar rooms, restaurants, and all that stuff. And we will be discussing this Monday night. And I'm really hoping that we don't have to go back to the rules that we had to put in place in April and May. But personally, I would be happy to do anything we can to protect the residents. And that's it. Just everybody just try to be vigilant and be careful. It's not over, and don't let your guard down.
Thank you, Andre. That would
You're
be, and thank you for your remembrance of John Jacobson.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yep. Next item on the agenda is listed as public input. It's time when anyone has a brief comment for us, anything you might want to bring to our attention. Does anyone have anything for us tonight? I see the number ending in 5181. Hello, identify yourself, please.
Ken, Dave Lewis here. I'd like to make a public comment.
Hi, David. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Ken. First time doing this, so just bear with me while I get my act together, okay? And my voice is a little bit hoarse. Hopefully you'll all be able to hear me okay. So, David Lewis for the record, members of the Town Council, and Ms. Crawford. I would like to offer the following comment into the record about island traffic safety in general, and on Coonamus Road and West Side Road specifically. At the conclusion of tonight's meeting, I will email these comments to each of you and the town clerk with copy to the Block Island Times. How fortunate we were to have the dramatic help of a major state police presence on the island in late August and early September. I did not spend much time in town this year, but the anecdotal evidence is strong that they made a major impact in public behavior, attitude, respect, and perhaps most importantly, traffic safety. I join the rest of the Block Island community in offering my thanks to the state police for answering the community call for help and to the local police for their hard work at what is almost a thankless task. One has to be mindful of the reality that such a substantial and targeted state police enforcement effort is not to be assumed for 2021 and beyond, leaving the obvious question on the table. What are the town council and town manager going to do differently to sustain what has been accomplished and bring about substantive change in 2021? Please note that I have not mentioned mopeds and will only mention them tangentially because they are only part of the problem we have with traffic safety on the island. While I spent little time in town this year, I have spent 45 minutes daily since March on my walks, mostly from home to Isaac's Corner and back, sometimes from home to West Side Church and back. I have had plenty of observational experience. Please let me tell you that we have a traffic safety problem on these roads. Simply put, the problem is excess speed. Speed above the 25 mile per hour limit. Excessive speed by automobiles, trucks, motorcycles, and mopeds, both rental and private. And yes, some mopeds can go faster than 25 miles per hour. And the drivers of same are not just mainland folk. Many island folks contribute. And also mainland homeowners, summer house renters, and other summer vacationers. Every bracket contributes to the problem. Seniors, oldsters, and youngsters. Every demographic is represented. Bicycle riders, they are mostly all behaving well. Put any combination of one or more automobiles, trucks, motorcycles, mopeds, or bikes going in opposite directions on curvy, narrow Coonamus Road, or alternately, automobiles or trucks passing mopeds or bikes in the same direction, and speed becomes the real safety issue. At speeds 25 miles per hour or below, motor vehicle operators appear to have adequate time and distance to react to the unexpected on the narrow roads, hill crests, and blind curves. At speeds above 25 miles per hour, reaction time and reaction distance are reduced, and circumstances become become quite scary and dangerous. My observations were and are similar across the periods before the state police arrived in force, while they were here, and now in September and October. It is a structural year-round problem, and I think it is reasonable to assume that 2020 has not been an outlier, but rather is typical of recent years and likely to be repeated in future years without direct intervention. All I would ask is that speed limits be enforced on all island roads for automobiles, trucks, motorcycles, and rental and private mopeds, regardless of operator or time of year. Who could argue with that? Which brings me to my last point. I confess to being taken aback in August when I first read in the Providence Business News and then in the Block Island Times that we don't have a traffic division in our police department. I took that to mean that we are inadequately structured to enforce traffic safety, not only in summer, but presumably on a 12-month basis. I wonder, am I the only one who didn't know this? In my recollection of the public budget discussions of the past 2 years, I don't recall that there has been mention of the presence or absence of a traffic division. I have always assumed that the town funds the police department to cover the breadth of basic police protection, which includes traffic safety and traffic enforcement. Regardless of whether we have a traffic division or not, my hope going forward is that the council and town manager will place a higher priority and more direction on 12-month traffic safety and enforcement and provide the necessary funds to do better. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, David. Please,
Thank
if you could, David, if you could, please forward a copy of that to the town clerk.
Yes, I do. I will. It'll be in your mailbox in the morning.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dave.
you.
Thank you, David. It's very nice to hear from you again.
I appreciate that sentiment. Thank you to all, one and all.
Does anyone else have anything for public comment tonight that's not on the agenda for this evening? Not seeing anything. I'll move right along. The first item on the agenda is to receive a report from the town manager, Cynthia Crawford. Cynthia, good evening.
Right, so for the town manager's report this evening, under the finance department, Amy has outlined for you folks a number of data points regarding the first quarter of the year. Tax collections are stable, 45 versus 46% through September. Clerk licenses fees are at record levels. Clearly, that's an indication of the property transfers we've seen. Building permits are also strong, 36% of the budget for fiscal year 20 was particularly weak and poor in this area. Seasonal revenues, Old Harbor, New Harbor, Town Beach for September was extraordinarily high as the summer activity levels extended well past the summer, and we all saw that going on. July meals tax received in September was down about 18% over last year, while July hotel tax was actually higher than 2019. Cottage tax, which is beginning on a slightly different schedule, is down about 75% this year. Clearly, that could be because a number of people chose not to rent houses here, or residents chose not to put their homes up for rent for the year. Expenditures are running. The good news is they're running on the same basis, percentage basis, with at this point with no particular concern. There was a minor error in a report that I gave you. It is 611,000 related to the easement and temporary connectivity solution and other terms and conditions around the cable reburial project were received during September from National Grid. Also, as one would expect with Amy at the helm, this year's financial audit is going extremely well and is fairly completed. Auditors are in the process of completing the financial statements. From the police department attached, I did attach a report regarding data points that the council had requested. I did provide a 3-year comparison. The New Shaw Police Department is in the transition stage, going from the summer staffing to the winter staffing. Currently, the only two reserves that will continue to work as an on-need basis is Stephen Land and Walter Anderson. Library staff has been working towards opening the building in November. Preparation includes moving furniture, measuring rooms, while trying to maintain a warm, welcome environment. The library intends to continue the outdoor days for those patrons who are not ready to enter the building. The window project is well underway. There will be additional costs. I was at the site yesterday. There's a more extensive damage than they originally anticipated with the leaking. I have not received numbers in that regard as of yet. The technology department has successfully installed and staff has received training on the IQS digital land evidence system. There's still one glitch that needs to be worked out that they're working on. The clerk's office will now be able to scan documents as they are recorded and linked directly to the index. There'll no longer be a need for the manual daybook, what we call the manual daybook. The system will be accessible from any computer. However, there will be a printing fee. Documents have been digitized back to 1972. This will greatly reduce the amount of traffic in the vault. Staff is exploring ways to schedule appointments for those who still need to access the vault for records prior to 1972 and also probate records. The expectation is the digitized records are available to the public online. Scheduling appointments will begin. We're not sure exactly what date in light of what is now going on with the COVID numbers. Early and emergency voting began on noon, town hall on Wednesday the 14th. Voting was scheduled to begin at 8 a.m. But what I'm slowly learning and realizing with island life, sometimes the ferries don't run. So the voting machines were held up on the mainland and didn't make it over here until about 10 o'clock on the 14th. The soccer program, the children's soccer program has begun. The rec department is maintaining the same pods as the K through 1 grade as the school. K through 1 meet twice a week, followed by grades 2 and 3 twice a week. Grades 4 and 5 in separate pods, practice twice a week for an hour each day, Monday and Wednesdays. Clinics are now being held on Fridays, followed by inter-squad games for K1, then a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. The recreation department is practicing all COVID safety practices, including masks are being worn, temperatures and system checks, social distance, and frequent hand sanitizing. There is an excellent participation in the lower grades with only 5th grade with low numbers. Hats off for David and his staff for getting that program underway. There's excellent the Block Island Lions Club. The Block Island Club has allowed the town to use the outdoor courts for the adult pickle program on Sundays. The Lions Club donated funds to create pickle courts on the basketball courts at Boyle O'Brien Park. They also donated funds for equipment, and once that arrives, the program will move to the Boyle O'Brien field. The department will be looking to work at the Heinz Fields in the coming weeks, installing new foul poles as the old poles have become rusted and in danger of falling. Under Harbor Master, congratulations to Kate and Harbor Master Kate and her staff for a successful first year as the Harbor Master during the pandemic. The season turned out much busier than originally anticipated back in the spring. I have outlined for you over a 3-year basis the numbers that are received for the revenue. Dredging is underway in Old Harbor, in the Anchorage area, and in a basin by the Army Corps of Engineers. The town has submitted an application to CRMC to dredge the town dock area. Comment period is through November 7th. Kate has heard, as it states in the report, the Army Corps is working to get the town dock included into their dredging project, and that has been successful. So the Army Corps will include the town's dredging in their project. Mark reported the months of June, July, and August, September, the building department witnessed an increase in building activity on the island. Over 150 permits applications were processed with a record of 81 permits in September. A total of $76,000 permit fees were collected in the 4 months. I asked Mark to provide me information over a period of 3 years. This year was the second highest to 2017, and 2017, one permit alone was $70,000. So this year it was extremely high. As you all know, Mark will be retiring on November 30th after 32 years of service with the town. In my short tenure here, Mark has been extremely helpful, always ready to answer any questions I may have. I am sure you all join me in wishing Mark nothing but the best. I will begin the process of hiring a new building and zoning official. I do not think we would have a state certified building official in place by November 30th. However, I do have a couple of options that I am working on. Mark has reached out to the State Building Commission to see if the office will be willing to assist us in the transition. And also, Mark has reached out to a company called Four Leaf, which is a certified building official company that will be able to administer the department. Mark has also agreed to work on a very part-time basis after the first of the year to help with transition to the new building official. The fire inspector position has been posted. I anticipate filling that position within the next 4 weeks. Martha Ball, Lieutenant Dean, Shirlene, and I have met with the moped owners now 3 times. The discussions have been frank and solution-driven. The owners are very open, and I anticipate by the first of the year finalizing preliminary discussion and plans for the 2021 season. I expect we will continue to meet virtually during the winter months and into early spring. The group's expectation is to continue meet during the summer months to evaluate safety measures implemented and to make any adjustments if necessary. Hunting season has begun. As a reminder, U.S. Fish and Wildlife asked for public comment last spring. The town did submit a letter for requesting 5 items. They did comply with all 5, with the exception of that hunters. We did request that hunters stop by the police station and notify them when they're hunting. However, they said they're not required to. They can, they don't have to. I did speak to the chief about this, and he said a majority of the hunters do come by and let them know that they will be hunting and will they be hunting. As a follow-up to that, there was some concern raised about shotgun hunting that was scheduled to start on November 1st. We reached out to Fish and Wildlife and asked if they could extend that deadline or move the start date, until December 1st. I'm happy to report within 48 hours, we did receive a phone call back and that they have agreed that shotgun hunting will not begin until December 1st. With that said, the Fish and Wildlife were on island in midweek. They have posted signs in the 5 areas that hunting will take place, and then also notes of the timetables beginning at December 1st. They're also advising people who walk in the area to wear orange hats and vests. Also, they provided us with a number of flyers that will be posted around town, as well as on the ferry in Block Island on the Point Judith areas. Also, they will have a press release prior to November 1st, informing all folks that the hunting will be delayed until December 1st. Unfortunately, they cannot change anything as it relates to the brochures that have already been printed. Congratulations to Molly for being awarded a $5,000 grant for the Center of Technology and Civic Life. The funds will be used to provide election support and polling place coverage in advance of the November 3rd election. As you all know, National Grid and Ørsted are in the process of reburying the cable. A concern was raised by a resident this week regarding staff, that they have not been wearing masks. We did bring that to the attention of the staff with both companies. They have forwarded us their COVID protocol. We've asked that they forward that also to Dr. Walcott to get his input. And CM has advised me that when he does meet with them on their weekly meetings on Thursday, that he does remind them, and he did it this Thursday, that masks must be worn. And they need to continue to do that in light of what's going on and the fact that even prior to what's going on, masks are required in Block Island. I am pleased to report that that project is scheduled on schedule and should be completed on time. Finally, I'm pleased to report that the town did receive a grant from through the Commerce Corporation, Take It Outside. Thanks to Heidi Tarbox, Charlene, and Cindy Laser for working in the application process of that. We received $45,000 that will benefit the local businesses with tents and heating equipment to allow them to stay open during the next few months. Also, I've been asked by a few folks, a couple of councilors have asked me about raises for staff based on contractual agreements, MOUs that were signed prior to June in light of the COVID and the budget constraints that both of our unions agreed to take pay freeze. With the numbers that we discussed last night, tonight, I'm pretty confident that we can come back with the raise for these folks prior to the first of the year. Amy and I have discussed this, and I'll be prepared to discuss this a little deeper and make a recommendation to the council at the meeting on November 18th. I have attached a number of reports for you for your information and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mary Ann. I apologize for calling you Cindy.
Yeah, you threw me. Yeah, she threw me off base.
I'm looking at my participants list and I've got 2 or 3 Cindy's on there and it just sort of rolled off the tongue. Chris, Willie, you have a question?
Just one regarding the police numbers. Thank you, Mary Ann. We also asked for the numbers from the state police and
I asked the chief for that again. He has not received it as of yet, and I just followed up with him this week and requested again for the same information.
Thank you.
Ben Reesum?
Yeah, thank you, Marion. That was great. I'm sorry for some poor internet connection here in the winds, but hopefully you can hear me. A couple of thoughts. One, I think on the Fish and Wildlife thing, I'm saddened that there won't be notification at the police department. My big fear is there are just so many more people out here than we're used to in November, December that don't really know where they're going. And as you know, the markings are tough, even with the signage. And I think if there is a chance to go back and try and have that notification at the police department, that's something that we should really push for this year, but absolutely for next year. And I appreciate the fact that they agreed to 4 out of 5 points, but I think we are overall in charge of the island, even though they may be in charge of pieces of land. Second thing I would love to just have you schedule is a meeting with the chief come end of November, December, whenever you're ready, about enforcement. It was a big topic last night in the candidates night. You mentioned it. I always worry that there are different definitions of what that means. I think last night there was a lot of topics around Weldon's Way. And I just want to make sure that we're all in alignment prior to being so late that we can't make changes. And so maybe by the end of the year at least, so that if hiring or state police or I don't know, whatever the solutions may be, I just would like to have a meeting with you and the chief and make sure that we're all on the same page about the definition of enforcement. Thanks so much for the announcement about the raises. I know a lot of people are nervous about that, and that's great. Then lastly, and maybe Dr. Warcup and the Health Service is going to talk about this. I think in addition to the police numbers, a point has been made that the medical center's numbers may be as important, if not more reliable and as important than police, because there are so many people that do get hurt that don't go to the police. They just walk right up or somehow get up to the health services. So it'd be great to correlate those numbers and be able to build sort of this master plan with some 3-5 year history. So I think if we can also, as a future, add the health services numbers into tracking accidents and or repairs, in addition to everything else that was on the report, that would be helpful, because I think it'll be more holistic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sven. Any other questions or comments from the council?
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Martha.
Now, I thought that the doctor was working on that information about accidents, particularly pertaining to vehicular accidents in the summertime for a while. It's going to take some time to compile it. Marianne, did I miss something there?
That was my understanding also, that when I met with Dr. Walcott, he talked about that he was going to start beginning some of the data mining and hopefully go back a few years. And the fact that he would be the one that would have more of the information, or most of the information, because you do have people walking in, you do have people coming in by rescue, and he would have that information.
He is with us tonight. Dr. Workup, are you there?
Oh.
I am, yes. So we will be able to, can you hear me okay, Ken?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we appreciate Marianne had included us in one of their meetings with the moped owners, and we shared our 2020 season data to date, which was great. And we saw a substantial spike in both number of related injuries, but also the fly-offs were substantially different compared to 2019 season. We've communicated with the original researcher for the moped study. We've reinitiated the tracking data for it. And as we mine it through the winter, we'll have a more complete 2018, 2019, 2020 trend for you to evaluate.
Thank you, Dr. Workup. Sven Reese, do we have a question?
Yeah, I guess my point of Marianne incorporating those numbers was not whether Dr. Walkup was doing it or not, because he had said he was, but rather how to build this long-term holistic database. Because I think as we go through in time, the police department, rescue, fire has one set of criteria, the medical center another, and I think keeping that as a long-running, few years back and then years going forward as a database is great, rather than having two separate ones. That was sort of where I was going.
Thank you, Sven.
Thank you.
Martha, did you have a follow-up to the question?
No. I
Okay.
just think if you start mucking up numbers, the medical center's probably got the best numbers.
Right.
They've got the truest numbers of the people who actually show up for treatment.
Okay. Thank you, Martha. Any other questions or comments from the council on the town manager's report in general? Okay, thank you, Marianne, again, for that very complete report. And I'm sure we'll look forward to utilizing more of that information later in the winter here. The next item on the agenda is to review and act on the Block Island Health Services Agreement. Marianne, do you have input on this also?
Yes, I met with Cindy regarding this agreement. There was one thing that they had requested to be included in this agreement, and it's under Article 9. It's regarding open meetings. What the medical board would like to have the opportunities to do is to continue to meet via Zoom even if the governor lifts the executive order. They would like to continue meeting via Zoom. But I think I would recommend that if we do incorporate that, it'll be like a hybrid. I think that's what most folks will probably start to do, is they'll do a hybrid, continue with the Zoom, but also allow the people come in for a public meeting. And I think that may help with the medical board. And what I can do is work with Kathy Marola to come up with language if the council agrees with that.
Okay, any questions or comments from the council on that?
Yeah, I have a broader question.
Martha, go ahead, please.
Beyond the medical center. I know that there are some boards and committees that have some trouble with quorums, and downstream, God willing, we get through this. It might benefit the town to enable to have that same allowance, simply because the demographic of our community is people are so mobile these days, and I know there are some groups in particular that really have a hard time making a quorum. So you might want to think about that more broadly than just the health services. I'm fine with it for health services.
All right, thank you, Martha.
May I ask?
Cynthia Bobby, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ken. First of all, Marianne, it's the item that I was talking to you, it's in section 10, Roman numeral 10, and letter E. And much to what Martha was saying, a hybrid sort of Zoom going forward would be wonderful, because several of our board members are not always here on the island. They're very valuable people with wonderful input, and by having a hybrid Zoom, we can include them.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks.
Other comments or questions? Would you like to, Cindy, would you like to refine that before the council acts on the agreement with Black Island Health Services?
Sure, I could do that with Mary Ann, and then if you want Kathy Marola to take a look at it, that's fine.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I'm happy to do that.
I think it'd be a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Ann,
Okay, thank you.
Mary Ann, do you concur?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We have time. This doesn't expire until the end of the year. That's the
Yep.
reason why we got it to you folks a little early, because of the meeting I've had with Cindy.
Yeah.
We knew that this was coming up, so.
Yeah, good idea.
give you
Thank you.
time to think about it.
Good idea. Thank you very much for that. If there's no further
Thank you.
questions, thank you, Cindy, for being with us tonight. If there's no further questions, we'll move along to the next item on the
You're very
agenda. That'll be to review deer hunting dates for the 2021 season and discuss strategies and options for safe outdoor recreation. I'd like to thank Mary Ann for acting so quickly. I had gotten a call from a constituent who was concerned about the impending season, the shotgun and muzzle loading season. I mentioned it to Mary Ann, and obviously she reached out because we knew that there was the federal lands especially were a problem. So I applaud her for reaching out and getting things done so quickly, but I think we needed to continue the discussion this evening about the season on the island in general. We've noticed, and people have noticed anecdotally and otherwise, a lot more people here. There's a lot of lights on in the houses. There's a lot of people at the restaurants. There's a lot of people in lines at the boat. It's not a normal October, and I got a feeling it's probably not going to be a normal November, at least not till after Thanksgiving. Mary Ann and I have had discussions about it, and I think the council should have a discussion about the possibility of altering the deer hunting dates. Mary Ann, do you have input on that?
I think it's something that at this point we should explore in light of, because I do agree with you, although this is my first time here on the island for this time of the year. Most of the time in the past, I've been here during the summers. But with that said, I'm hearing the boats are crowded. I did experience a Friday night going out for dinner at 6:30, 6:45, and being told there would be an hour wait. So, and that was after Columbus Day. So I do agree we should explore possibly these dates going forward.
I'd invite the council to have comments. Anyone? Ben Reesum, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely think we should review them. I mean, archery sort of started, right? And black powder, or at least archery, which includes crossbows, by the way. So I think we should review them as soon as possible and see if we should cut it back a little bit, given everything you just said.
Well, we're here tonight. I think that's on the agenda tonight, and I think the idea was that that shotgun and muzzleloader season is about to begin ostensibly on the 1st of November. So I think we need to have that discussion right here and now. You know, the problem is that you got more people here in their own summer homes when they're not usually here this time of year. You have people here renting homes, and they may not be as careful moving out around and about the island. They may be concerned about the noises that they might hear early in the morning and late in the afternoon, the hunting activity. And then it's a safety factor, you know, that, like I said, more people out and about. And I just think that we have to, it's not a normal year. It's a 2020 COVID year. And there's a lot of things that are changed this year. A lot of things are different. And I think this is one of them. And I think just in terms of safety of the general public and the people coming out, I personally think it would be a good idea to delay the start of the shotgun and muzzleloader season until the 1st of December. That's my opinion at this point. I invite anyone have any comments, if they can raise their hand. Chris, will go.
Oh, yeah, I'll just make the comment that this might not just be a COVID 2020 thing anymore, because we were talking at the last meeting about broadband and changes that we might have to make with our increase of year-round population. So this isn't, you know, I think this is something that's gonna definitely be longer than COVID.
We will see. Other questions or comments from the council?
Are we talking about I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Martha.
Are we talking about the whole season, not, because there's public land, there's private land. I mean, nobody's walking on my land unless they're supposed to be here.
Well, the season, yeah, basically what I'm talking about is the shotgun muzzleloading season, which was scheduled to begin on the 1st of November.
Yeah.
Across the island.
Not that I have any hunters lined up, but if I
they wouldn't be hunting on your property until the season allowed it, though, Martha.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If I had hunters lined up to hunt, which I don't, I wish I did, I don't. I'd be annoyed as heck because, as I said, this is not open to the public property anyway, so nobody's going to be walking down here.
No, but all lands are adjacent to other properties, though. That's a concern.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. We were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Dr. Workup, you have a comment?
Thank you, Ken. Just some data for the council to put in their deliberations that Connecticut's positivity rate now has hit 4.1% and Massachusetts has hit 6.2%. So those are quarantine rates if they were to come from out of state. And if individuals aren't going to check in with law enforcement, there's potential hunters coming in from out of states that we would normally quarantine. Just something to consider in your deliberations.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be dense, but your point being that those hunters that might be coming from out of state might have to quarantine anyway?
They would likely be asked to quarantine if we officially knew they were here, and if they don't have to check in officially other than with the landowners, we would potentially normally want them to quarantine from the community.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good point too. And Martha, getting back to your point, I mean, I do understand that people may have made plans, maybe made plans to come and hunt on their property and that sort of thing, but I think I think we've done far more egregious things this year to people's activities than this, and I think in the name of safety, in the interest of safety, it's something that could be tolerated for a month anyway. We did not delay the start of the bow season. As I said, that's while it may just be just as dangerous, it is a bit more silent but deadly. But there again, the shotgun and muzzleloader is a different animal. So that's why, and we have the, it hasn't started yet, so we have the opportunity to curtail it before it gets started. Andre Bujo, go ahead.
Thanks, Ken. I'm just wondering if we had these hunting dates set already last year, and I'm just wondering if we switch, if we move the date out to December, if we've got to go to DEM and ask.
Yeah, it's a good question, Marianne.
So I did speak to DEM, and what they said to me was, you can notify the property owners. So with that conversation, that's how I went to Fish and Wildlife. And Fish and Wildlife said, yes, we agree that hunting will not be allowed until December 1st on their property. The same thing happens here with private property owners. Private property owners will have to make the decision, as I understand it, to say that we were delaying. We will not allow folks to hunt until December 1st. So it's my understanding it rests with the property owner.
Martha, go ahead.
Is that what DEM said? I don't think that's right.
I'm confused on that too.
We're under different regs, or we have our own ordinance.
Right.
Oh God, I hate deer hunting. I hate deer dates. I always hate it.
Martha, we love deer hunting. We want deer hunting. We want them to hunt, but we just want to have it be a safe situation also. But we do want them.
I understand. This is just like, I'm having flashbacks to 25 years ago talking about the same thing. I think Dr. Walkoff makes a very valid point. That's
it adds to the equation. Yes.
It adds weight to the equation more than anything else to me, because I'm.
Would it be beneficial? I'm sorry. May I? Would it be beneficial for us to, and I don't want to put anything off, but would it be beneficial for us to just continue this item until Monday so we can get more information? I don't mind putting off the hunting dates, but I am concerned about what Dr. Walkup just said and how we would implement that. And I think we would need to have a plan in place for people that do intend to come here from quarantine states. Because that's something that's new to me. That's, obviously makes a lot of sense, but I wasn't thinking of right now.
Well, heck, we're going to be a quarantine state if we're not already.
Sven Reesum.
I go back to my comments on Fish and Wildlife before, that I think this gets to registration at the police station. And maybe Marianne, if you could sort of talk to them as we go from December 1st on, part of the reason is understanding with COVID who's on the island, who's not, and where are they from, and quarantining. Maybe that's a way to flip the conversation. Ken, if I got it right, your proposal, and whether we delay or not, your proposal is to really do a 1 month delay, but you're not extending the back end of the season, right? You're just 1 month delay to the start. That's your thought?
That's correct.
Depending on if everybody wants to delay or not, but I would support that idea going forward based on this conversation and my thinking. But I'm very happy to wait until Monday. I don't know that it matters.
If we're gonna wait till Monday, then we need to have some specific questions that you want to have answered, so we can come back Monday and actually take action and be prepared to take action. But we just need to have some specific questions of what data, what information you need in order to make that decision.
I would rather wait.
Andre.
Thank you, Ken. I would rather have some data. I know we only have 1 day to do it, and all day Monday. But this is getting into, again, what the doctor said. On the flip side of that, I've had, and we can have the discussion under the emergency ordinance too on Monday's agenda, but hunters, it just seems to be, they come and they go. And, I've heard some concerns about, some of the school kids going off. I've heard some concerns about some of the school kids going off on weekends and coming back to the school. So maybe this could be and not knowing, they're going to these states and coming back and then going to the school. So I'm just wondering if this might be a part of that discussion, under the emergency ordinances. And I don't know. I don't want to put deer under the emergency ordinances, but I'm a little confused right now. I'd rather wait. There's so much going on in my head about this right now. I don't want to make a decision in a vacuum, because the ultimate goal is to reduce the deer herd and safety and doing it safely. But if we take a month off of that, we're not, I know that the deer, reducing the deer herd isn't going to really work out this much this year if we set it back a month. I'm more concerned about safety, but again, I'll leave it up to the council as a whole.
Other questions or comments from the council? Is anyone with us from the Deer Task Force this evening? Okay, so the data we'd be looking for from Monday, Andre, if I might, would be specific data about interstate travel, but not just pertaining to any hunters that might be coming, but just in general. And then we'll extrapolate from that into how that might affect the hunting season.
The hunting season and just about general travel for, people anyway. I mean, data, how many people come from Connecticut, Massachusetts, or any of these other states to do hunting here? I just don't know those numbers. It may be a big deal. It may not be.
But I have a question.
Go ahead, Martha. I'll yield.
No, it was tying in with this. I mean, do we know right now how many archery and bow hunters we have, if any, from out of state?
No, we don't. But I think that it's somewhat of a sidebar, if you will. It's somewhat of a side story. I mean, no matter what you're coming here for, whether it's bow hunting or deer hunting or just to get away from New York or Connecticut, whatever you're coming here for, if there are regulations and rules in place that have been put in place by the DOH and the state, no matter what you're coming here for, you're going to need to abide by those. So
that's not my question.
I'm sorry?
That's not my question. My question is, if archery is already going,
Yep.
do we know where they're coming from? And if we're cutting off the other hunting, are we going to cut off archery as well? I mean, if we're going to do this under COVID, we got to cut off everything, I think.
We can certainly do that. We haven't done that. We have not cut off archery at this point. As I said, the big concern was, I think we have a lot more muzzleloader and shotgun hunters than we do bow hunters, but I don't know that for a fact. But we can certainly, I would certainly take into consideration the idea of just, not having any hunting at all for the month of November and see where we are at the end of November. Sven Reesum, go ahead.
Marianne, another piece of data that at least would help inform me is if you could go, or somebody could go back a couple of years and just look at how many tags were issued in November relative to the rest of the season. Like, is this a 5% of the normal cull, or are we talking 25%? I just have no idea what that November take has been historically, assuming that we would be similar to the history, which, that's just one more piece of data that would help.
It is one more piece of data, but I'm not sure I'd be making my decision based on how many deer we might or might not take for the month. I'm making the decision more based on what the safety would be for the community and the people out there. So we can get that information and have that part of the discussion, I guess. But
yeah, DEM should be able to provide us with that information.
The reason, just sort of to answer it, the reason, Ken, I think it is, Andre raised a really good point, which is around Deer Task Force and health and safety of ticks and reducing deer. So I just want to understand what the impact would be, at least based on history. That was the reason for the question. Thank you.
all right.
Ken, may I?
Andre, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm still I'm not sure if I have an answer to, we set the deer hunting dates last year, and can we just put them off without asking DEM. Would Kathy Morrow, I think Kathy's here tonight. Would she be able to answer that? Because they've already printed the the deer eggs. So
Right, well,
is,
they've also printed up the regulations and the dates for the federal properties too, but the feds were willing to go ahead and delay it a month.
okay. But would DEM allow us to delay it a month is what I guess I'm asking.
I hear you. Catherine Marola, Andre's directing a question to you. I'm not sure. Can you answer that or not?
You hear?
Can you unmute her?
She's muted.
I know she's muted.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are.
Oh, good. Okay. In the past, when we've tried to change it, has been an issue. We did have a meeting at one time with Mary Kay, the general counsel for DEM. I'm going to say that what I'm hearing is that some of these dates may be affected by the governor's new COVID orders anyway, but typically it has been something in the past that we've had to work out with DEM.
Thank you, Catherine.
So maybe we should continue till Monday if we can get an answer to that. Kathy, would that be the best idea to do? Have a conversation.
Yes, I can do that.
Oh, I'm just wanting to know, Mary Ann could probably do that. I'm just wondering if you think it's best if we continue this discussion about putting it off until Monday, until we have answers.
Well, I can. You go ahead, Marion.
Martha, go ahead.
No, my only thing is I'm circling back to COVID, and we'll probably have a better idea tomorrow. Well, we'll have an idea going on with the state regs regarding COVID, and that sort of overrides everything else, doesn't it? It should override everything.
Yes, it will.
It will, and the governor's going to make an announcement about that tomorrow, and then we have yeah.
So the effect on those numbers will be to affect the hunters that are coming from out of state to the island to hunt. We'll still have hunters that are local that will be hunting. So we'll have to, take that information and have it be part of the larger, the big picture. But that'll only be one small, one relatively small portion of it. So I guess I'll make a motion to table this item until Monday for more information to continue the discussion.
I second that, but I begrudgingly second that because I don't really like putting things off, but I really do think we need more information on this.
Motion by Andre, motion by myself, seconded by Andre. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. We'll put it on the agenda for Monday to have this discussion again with more information. Thank you all for your concern on this. Next item on the agenda is boards, committees, and commissions. I'd like to point out that anyone interested in serving on a town council appointed board, committee, or commission should notify the council in writing at P.O. Box 220 and feel free to contact any council member to learn more about the open positions. Currently, there are openings on many boards, committees, and commissions, and some of these we'll try to deal with tonight. We need to, the first thing we need to do is we need to update, actually, we have several updates that we need to do that we can do this evening. I'll make a motion to appoint Kirk Littlefield to serve as the Emergency Management Task Force on the Emergency Management Task Force as Fire Chief.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. All those in favor? Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries. Make a motion to appoint Tracy Fredericks to serve on the Emergency Management Task Force as Rescue Captain.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. All those in favor? Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. I'll make a motion to appoint Mary Ann Crawford to serve on the Emergency Management Task Force as town manager.
Is that okay with you, Mary Ann? Did anybody ask Mary Ann?
Let me think about it for a minute.
I'm not sure she has a choice. It's ex
Second.
officio. It's ex officio, seconded by Andre. Thank you.
Just checking.
All those in favor, Andre,
Aye.
Sven,
I,
Chris,
Aye.
Martha.
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. I'll make a motion to appoint Dr. Tom Warkup to serve on the Emergency Management Task Force as a Black Island Health Services representative.
Second.
Second by Andre. All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
I,
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. A motion be in order. I'll make a motion to appoint Lori Anderson to serve on the Emergency Management Task Force as a Black Island Health Services alternate.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven? Sven? I think we,
Where is,
I,
I think he votes affirmative. Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries. So the full membership of the Emergency Management Task Force is then Vin Carlone, William McComb, and Peter Gemp as co-directors. Kirk Littlefield as fire chief, Tracy Fredericks as rescue captain, Mary Ann Crawford as town manager, Tom Warkup as the health services representative, Lori Anderson as health services alternate, and Jeffrey Wright as Black Island Power Company representative. Last week, we appointed Rob Kloster, at our last meeting anyway, we appointed Rob Kloster as second alternate to the zoning board. We need to make some administrative adjustments that we had discussed at that time. I'll make a motion to change Keith Stover from the first alternate to a full member of the New Salem Zoning Board.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. Any discussion?
I'm just wondering, I'm not sure if
Okay, go ahead.
thank you. I'm just wondering, have we ever appointed the alternates to any board or committee to full members? I don't recall ever doing that. I don't mind. I mean, this is a fine appointment. I'm just wondering procedural wise, why we're starting this.
No,
What do you mean? We always,
it's standard operating procedure. Yes, we do that.
We bring up alternates? I thought the boards did that.
no,
No.
we
Okay.
do it. I'm sorry. Ken's correct. Ken's right.
Martha? Yeah, we do it, Andre. So
Thanks for the clarification.
motion's made and seconded by Andre. Any further discussion or question? All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
I,
Martha?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries unanimously. I'll make a motion to change Steve Filippi from a second alternate to a first alternate on the New Shoreham Zoning Board.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. Questions or concerns? All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
I,
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. We have some appointments that have been posted for more than 30 days that we can take action on. I'm searching for a person to replace, serve out the unexpired term of Sheila Fowler on the Board of Assessment Review. I've not found anyone who will do it yet. We do have two names that have been put in for the Recreation Board to serve as an alternate member with a term expiring in December of 20. I believe, point of order, Molly, is that correct? Term expiring in December of 20? Molly Fitzpatrick?
Yes, it is. That vacancy's been there for a little while. So
Okay. So that it expires in 12/20, and then we'll have to either be renewed or something else be done.
correct.
Okay, all right. What is the council's pleasure on this? We have two names. We have two names that have been put forward: Eileen Burke and Roberta Kloster.
Are any of them here?
I'm here.
Yeah, I believe we have Roberta here this evening with us, and
I'm here.
I hear you, Roberta. Thank you. Eileen, are you with us this evening? Won't see it. Okay. Andre, Roberta's here with us this evening.
Roberta, thanks for the offer. Thanks for showing up. Actually, thanks for putting your name in, and thanks for actually showing up to tell us why you would like to be on the rec board.
Absolutely. So I grew up here, and I'm raising my here, and I plan to stay here. And I just feel like young people my age with young families need to step up and be a part of the town and the community. And I just really want to support the rec director and future programs and help out as much as I can. I work for the school, the Nature Conservancy. I teach CCD. So I'm just trying to do my part to help the community raise all of our children.
Sounds like there's some recreation going on in your room, in your house tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roberta. I appreciate that. I'll make a motion to appoint Roberta Kloss as the alternate, first alternate.
Motion by Andre,
Second.
seconded by Martha. Further discussion? All those in favor? Andre,
Aye.
Sven,
Aye.
Chris,
I,
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Roberta, for your offer. Next item on the next one is we do have two names that have been put in, offered to serve in the Senior Advisory Committee for the unexpired term of Sandra Hoff, which will end December of 2021. This would be for another year. It's the unexpired term. The two names that have been put in are Aletha Greg, who's I believe the pastor at the Episcopal Church, and also Judy Fucci, who's put her name in also.
I'll make a motion to appoint Judy Fucci.
We have a motion by Chris Willie to appoint Judy Fucci.
I'll second.
Second.
We have a second by Andre, I believe. Any discussion?
Yeah, just
Okay, go ahead.
make sure could we send out a letter of immense gratitude and thanks to Sandra Kelly for her service on that board.
Yes, if it hasn't already been done, we certainly will. Thank you.
Wait. Is that who you mean?
Sandra Hoff.
Sandra Hoff, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Thank you.
you got it.
I'm not trying to get rid of Sandra Kelly, that's for sure.
No.
Panic.
Martha, go ahead.
No, you said I kind of panicked when I heard that.
Okay, yeah. All those in favor, Andre?
Making sure you're paying attention, Martha. Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries. We do have an opening in the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission to serve out the unexpired term of Vin McLoone, which will end in December of 2021. A name has been put forward. Steve McQueenie has volunteered to serve on that board. I will make a motion to appoint Steve McQueenie to the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. Any further discussion? All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries. We thank Steve for putting his name in to help serve on the Motor Vehicle Hire Commission. And it's big shoes to fill after the service of Vin McLoone for so many years. I know Vin is recovering this winter, and I wish him well. And hopefully we'll see him back in action in the spring. Next item on the agenda, we have openings in the Deer Task Force to serve the unexpired terms of Dick Stinson and Kirk Littlefield. Those terms will be ending December 20th. But we do have those two unexpired terms. The two names that have been put in so far in writing up to this point, at least previously, were Kevin Sheridan and Tom Walsh. Molly Fitzpatrick, do I understand that we have a couple other names that have been put in just at the last minute?
Those names haven't been put in. Those names were background chatter.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Kevin Sheridan and Tom Walsh to the Deer Task Force to serve out the unexpired terms.
Aye, second.
Seconded by Andre. Further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to
Go ahead,
add,
Andre.
may I, Ken?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand. I just want, I was going through the list of, all these letters that we're getting. We did receive a letter tonight at 7:39, of a resignation of Dora Barak. Please be advised, my resignation from the Deer Task Force effective immediately. So there is another spot on that apparently. I just want to go back to hoping that Vin will get a letter for his appreciation. I'm sorry I didn't mention it then, and Dora as well.
Thank you, Andre, certainly. And I'll point out that these terms expire December 2020, and we'll have to be appointing new members in December. The next council will, so we'll have to sort all this out. But for now, we were just filling these unexpired terms for the coming month. Motion made myself, seconded by Andre. All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. Motion carries. Announce vacancies. I'll announce a vacancy on the school committee. School committee member must be registered voter and cannot be a town employee. We do have a name in, but we can't we can't act on that, I believe, until Monday. And there will be an opportunity for a write-in.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Martha,
I
go
thought
ahead.
we had another name. Was there another name, or was that
Yes, there was, but Molly, am I correct? We cannot act on that yet till Monday?
That's correct, Ken.
Thank
It
you.
needed to
So
be
we'll have the
for 3 months.
name will be with Monday,
Martha, go ahead.
but the other name will be there for Monday?
Yes, it will.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So meanwhile, the current openings as we sit tonight, is a Black Island School Committee. That's one council appointed position, which expires in 12 of 2022. And as we said, we'll be dealing with that Monday night as soon as we can do that. We have one 3-year position available on the Board of Assessment Review. I'm still searching for a person for that. That's by law, that has to be a Republican designated individual. There's a 3-year position, a licensee, a taxi licensee available on the Commission for Motor Vehicles for Hire. Oh, Molly, is that the position we just filled?
That's right, Ken.
Okay, I'm sorry. We will still have, as of tonight, we still will have a 1-year, an opening on the Deer Task Force. We filled the alternate position on the Rec Board and the alternate position on the Senior Advisory Committee. And just to point out, there are no candidates or more seats. I'm sorry. There are opportunities also this evening and this year to run for office. No one has come forward to put their name in for the assistant moderator for 2 years. No one has put their name in for the Black Island Housing Board for a 4-year term, and no one's put their name in. I believe someone has.
Oh, someone did.
Excuse me, Martha?
Housing, didn't someone put the name in for housing?
For the
For
election?
write-in? For write-in.
Molly?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I thought I saw a letter today too, but we can move on.
You
Right.
saw something on Facebook.
I
Somebody
saw
put their
some.
name on Facebook.
Okay. Well, these positions are open and people can work on writing their names in for Tuesday, Black Island Housing Board and School Committee. I know that someone is interested in the School Committee, and I'm sure that the information will be out there. I believe it's already been advertised as such, so. The next item on the agenda is the minutes, but I don't believe we have any minutes to approve tonight, do we, Molly?
No, we don't.
Okay. A final item on the agenda is to receive an update from the town solicitor regarding McGinnis versus the town of New Shoreham et al. I don't believe we have any public information that can be disclosed at this time concerning this. Catherine Marola, am I correct?
Yes.
Very good. I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 4246-5A2 for sessions pertaining to litigation.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. Questions? All those in favor, Andre?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I vote in the affirmative also. We'll note that we will be going into closed session. We'll be coming out of closed session, and in open session, we'll make any announcements. And then we will conclude the meeting. So if someone's interested, you can stand by if you want to hear it firsthand. Or if we do make any announcements in open session at the end of this, those will obviously be reported to the paper and available for comment or available for perusal. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Please stay safe, and don't forget to get out and vote on Tuesday. Good evening, everyone, and we'll meet everyone in the executive session in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Ann, this is the open session, right?
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah.
as far as I know, yes.
Yep, I signed into the wrong one in the past. Hi, Amy, thank you.
Who actually hired it?
I'll wait a minute in case someone else is going to log in. I've got Andre and I've got Sven and Andre at the moment. Well,
Do you want me to call Martha? The winds are pretty bad out here, so.
We have a quorum, right?
yeah, we got enough people. Technically.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right. Andre, should we just go ahead and close the meeting out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Coming out of closed session, I'll make an announcement that no votes were taken in closed session. And I will make a motion to adjourn this open meeting of the town council.
Second.
Seconded by Andre. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody.
All those in favor, Andre,
Aye.
Sven,
I
I vote in the affirmative also. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Safe driving over the weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Mary Ann,
Thanks, Molly. Thanks,
Amy,
Amy.
Molly. Mary Ann, thank you for your
Thank you, Mary.
very comprehensive report tonight. I didn't get to say that earlier.